This is Kanha Shanti Vanam near Hyderabad in India. Over 10 days in early 2023, nearly 60,000 people will gather here from all parts of the world. They will sit in silence in the large open hall, close their eyes and meditate on their heart. They will meditate together every morning and evening for about 30 minutes. This form of meditation is extremely simple to practice, but holds within it the possibility of an unlimited expansion of consciousness. It has been called Sahaj Marg, the natural path, or simply Heartfulness. And it is taught for free, online and in person, by volunteers across the globe. The gathering at Kanha Shanti Vanam celebrates the 150th birth anniversary of the person who rediscovered this technique of meditation, Sri Ramchandra, also known as Lalaджи. There are very few photographs of Lalaджи that have survived, and much of the details of Lalaджi's life are shrouded in obscurity. However, we know that he was born in 1873 in Fatehgarh, in the North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. He was deeply devoted to his mother, but sadly she passed away when he was just 7 years old. After his marriage, his family, that had been relatively wealthy, lost their ancestral property in a court action and were reduced to near poverty. From a large house they now moved into a small rented room. Lalaджи took up an apprenticeship as a clerk in a government office to make ends meet. Through all this, he remained absorbed in contemplating deep questions about life and existence. What is the source of all creation? What is the purpose of life? How did the manifest world come into being? In his explorations, he drew particularly on Raja Yoga and the Sufi tradition. Lalaджи soon understood that everything in existence, from the tiniest particles to bacteria, plants, birds, mammals, to enormous galaxies and nebulae, are connected deeply to the source, the state that existed before creation and will prevail after it. In fact, the source is constantly present at all times, but we are not aware of it. For most people, it is out of the field of consciousness. To draw an analogy from the physical world, Think of yourself at this moment. There are fantastical things happening around you at the cosmic level. Giant supernova exploding, stars being born, stars dying, galaxies running into each other, comets hurtling through space. At the microcosmic level too, the cells in your body are like mini universes. All around you, energetic particles are buzzing about and interacting, crashing into each other all the time, while we inhabit a revolving sphere that is speeding through space around a fireball on the outer edge of a spiral mass of matter, revolving around a mysteriously dense center. Yet, while all this goes on, our awareness is largely limited to our immediate surroundings. The television or computer where you are watching this film, or even to a tiny screen held in the palm of your hand. Imagine if our consciousness in the observable world is so easily limited, how much more limited might it be in the infinitely more nuanced and subtle world of the spirit. What Lalaji observed was that human beings could actually expand their consciousness to not only become aware of the constant presence of the Source, but even to merge in it. One could go through life being totally absorbed in this state of consciousness. That, according to Lalaji, was the ultimate spiritual potential of a human being. What's more, Lalaji rediscovered an ancient technique to actually bring about this state in a relatively short time. The key to this was the transmission of subtle energy from the source itself into the individual's heart. This transmission has also been called pranahuti. Transmission could also be directed to other hearts by someone whose heart was sufficiently in tune with the Source, and this could be experienced with heart-based meditation. However, the expansion of consciousness is limited by the impressions we carry. Impressions are patterns of thoughts and feelings that have become embedded in our system. These impressions are referred to as samskaras and are formed through our thought and action. While sometimes we may be aware of forming an impression, they are often formed unconsciously. Over time, our consciousness can be bound by these invisible impressions, like a circus elephant, which though free, is still bound by the invisible chains and fear it experienced during training. To make transmission more effective, Lalaji proposed a simple method to clean out impressions, thereby clearing the way for the expansion of consciousness. Lalaji freely shared his technique with the small group of people he was associated with. He was able to transmit from the Source and transform the consciousness of those around him. Over time, this technique came to be known as Sahaj Marg and is now more widely known as Heartfulness. Transmission and the cleaning of impressions still remain the central features of Heartfulness. After Lalajji's passing in 1931, one of his students from Shahjahanpur, also in the North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, who incidentally shared the same name, Ramchandra, continued teaching this technique. He was also known as Babuji and founded an organization in Lalajji's name called the Sri Ram Chandra Mission. The objective of this organization was to make Lalajji's technique available to everyone, completely free of charge. The organization's activities were funded by book sales and voluntary donations. Babuji took Heartfulness to all parts of India and also to Europe and America. The Heartfulness Guide is able to direct transmission from the source, and people were able to experience this in Babuji's presence. After Babuji's passing in 1983, his student Parthasarthi Rajgopalachari of Chennai in southern India continued his work. Chariji, as he was lovingly known, worked tirelessly to take the offering of Heartfulness to all corners of the globe. He also established meditation centers worldwide. Both Babuji and Chariji were householders who worked for a living and imparted spiritual training for free. Chariji passed away in 2014, and Kamlesh D. Patel, a New York businessman and former pharmacist, hailing from the western Indian state of Gujarat, became the Heartfulness Guide. He is lovingly called Daaджи and has continued the work of his predecessors. He is bringing all people interested in spirituality together and stressing the need for unity and harmony among people across the world. The Heartfulness method of spiritual training does not recommend withdrawing from the world and leading a life of isolation. Daaджi believes that an individual expansion of consciousness must be reflected in that individual's action and interactions with the world. Babuji too often said that a spiritually inclined individual must endeavor to leave the world a better place than he found it. There is no greater embodiment of this than Kanha Shanti Vanam, the International Center for Heartfulness. Kanha Shanti Vanam was envisioned as a meditation center, but has quickly evolved into much more.
When we close our eyes and meditate, some inner guidance also comes in and says, okay, let's do this.
The land here was dry and arid, so Heartfulness volunteers embarked on a rainwater harvesting and tree plantation drive. They transformed this place from this to this. On this campus, special emphasis is given to preserving native and endangered tree species. A state-of-the-art tree conservation center has been set up, where a tissue culture lab is preserving critically endangered trees. The horticulture nursery at Kanha Shanti Vanam is also nurturing a large number of plants and running educational programs for people interested in learning the art of greening. It is fast emerging as one of the foremost nurseries in India. Learning from their experiments here, a team of volunteers and experts has embarked on the Forests by Heartfulness initiative, where they assist in foresting barren areas with native and endangered tree species. They have already completed several projects with companies, organizations, and state governments, and many more are to come. There has also been growing concern about the deteriorating quality of topsoil and diminishing agricultural return the world over. Farmers face considerable loss when they lose harvests due to extreme weather events. Addressing this problem, a team of Heartfulness volunteers began trying out various soil enrichment and agricultural techniques at Kanha. They also started a hydroponics facility where they have successfully managed to grow various plants, including saffron. The success of these experiments has led to a partnership with the Indian Council for Agricultural Research, or ICAR, to make Kanha a hub for agricultural innovation and research. Special emphasis has been given to rediscovering traditional agricultural practices while using the findings of modern scientific research as well. Kanha Shanti Vanam regularly hosts training workshops for agricultural students and officers from across India. Local farmers and village heads are also invited to share and learn. Heartfulness volunteers also recognize the problems of malnutrition and infant mortality plaguing the underprivileged sections of society, and started an outreach program to offer free training to accredited social health activists and auxiliary nurse midwives. They in turn take these practices to even the most remote villages in India. Stress relief, meditation and relaxation workshops are held for all sections of society, from farmers to CEOs to administrators to school principals. The Kanha Medical Center meets the needs of the neighboring villages as well as the Kanha residents. A multidiscipline wellness center has been set up at Kanha Shanti Vanam, which offers a variety of treatments and programs from Ayurveda, homeopathy to yoga. There is also a school and a coaching center where students are prepared for medical services and technical institution exams. The Heartfulness Pottery Studio not only makes beautiful pottery, but also encourages school students to explore the medium. In a collaboration with the Faculty of Arts of the University of Dresden, installations and artwork is coming up across Kanha, which will be part of the Inner Peace Museum. Beyond Kanha, Heartfulness volunteers have recognized the stress experienced by the police, armed forces, and medical community in particular. Free stress relief and meditation training is regularly organized for these communities. Similar programs are organized for administrative services and corporate organizations as well. Over the last few years, stress levels among school students have also increased greatly. Heartfulness volunteers have launched stress management programs across schools in India, which include tips on time management, developing routines, and relationship management. Many more such initiatives are constantly taking shape within the Heartfulness community of volunteers. However, meditation remains at the heart of Heartfulness. This impressive campus at Kanha Shanti Vanam, with its enormous meditation hall, the tree species being saved from extinction, the children, the people, the students, doctors, policemen, officers, and soldiers who are discovering happiness, harmony, and peace. The farmer who does not despair, the mother who raises healthy children, a society that does not judge. This entire movement begins with a shift in consciousness. And this is the extraordinary legacy of one man, a simple and humble man of modest means, a man who, while growing up in Fatehgarh in North India, sought to unravel the secrets of existence itself. A man who only interacted with a small group of people in his lifetime, but left behind something that continues to touch millions of lives across the world. In 2023, we celebrate 150 years of Lalaji Maharaj.
Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.